Hey YouTube, Kier Twig here, bringing you guys my updated Fluffal deck profile for the end of November 2015. I thought I'd bring you guys the update just because Fluffal's got some really awesome support, and I really like what the deck has turned into. It's a lot of creativity that you can put into the deck, so let's go ahead and get started. I run 3 Fluffal Dog. This is the one card that has always remained constant in numbers in the deck. Basically, when it's normal or special summon from the hand, you can add 1 Edge of Sabers or Fluffal Monster from your deck to your hand, except Fluffal Dog. You can only use this effect once per turn. So he's basically your searcher. The fact that you can get Edge of Sabers with this card really makes it worthwhile because you can't make any of the fusion monsters with just the Fluffal monsters. You do need an Edge of monster. Search is always good. The sheep combo also goes off pretty well with dog, which is why I like keeping it at 3. And I also run 3 Fluffal Mouse. Mouse is really good just because of the tiger combo or the wolf combo, basically. You can OTK if your opponent's field is clear because Fluffal Mouse allows you to special summon 2 other mouse to the field during your main phase, which means, wolf and tiger require multiple monsters to make them, and depending on how many you use, you could either destroy multiple cards or attack multiple times. So mouse really helps get your numbers up, thins the deck out by your other mouse. The only bad thing about them is when you end up drawing 2 and you can't make full use of the mouse effect. And I also run 3 of the new card, Fluffal Wing. Love this card basically because it's excellent draw power. This card is in your graveyard and you control Toy Vendor. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 Fluffal monster in your graveyard, banish it. If you do, draw 1 card. Then you can send 1 Toy Vendor you control to the graveyard. If you do, draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Wing once per turn. So the fact that you get 2 draws off of the Wing effect and then, the Toy Vendor scent effect lets you search. Plenty of stuff to add back to your hand. Draw power, search power. You can set up plays after. The Wing effect in the graveyard works good because you send Wing for Toy Vendor's ability to special summon monsters. So you're pretty much maxing out all the potential of all the cards on the field and in your hand. And now I also run 2 Fluffal Bear. I run Bear just so you could search out the Toy Vendor. Now the Toy Vendor is viable extremely in the deck. I also run 3 Toy Vendor. You want ways to search it out fast, and Bear is that answer. Plus, I also run 2 Fluffal Sheep. Mentioned earlier about the whole combo with this and dog. If you control a Fluffal monster except Sheep, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can return 1 other Fluffal monsters you control to the hand to special summon 1 Edge monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use the effect of Sheep once per turn. So you can recycle dog by returning it to your hand, then next turn normal summoning again. Plus, with Sheep now on the field, you can get the Edge monster from your graveyard back on the field if you have polymerization to get that fusion off, or if you don't want to summon it to the field, you can also use Frightful Fusion, which banishes the cards on the field and graveyard. So Sheep's good just for setup plays for fusions. And I'm also running 1 Fluffal Rabbit. I know some people like cat compared to rabbit, but it's basically just an opinion thing, what combos you like better. Basically, rabbit, when it's sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion monster, you can target an Edge of Sabers or Fluffal monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's just for consistency. Get back cards you want to reuse with rabbit. Like I said, cat lets you add back polymerization, but there are other cards in the deck that let you add it back easier, which is why I run rabbit over cat. And I also run 1 Fluffal Owl, just another means to get polymerization to your hand, or, if you want to use it for the fusion. Some people don't even run rabbit or cat. Some go to owl. It's all situational and, the person's own opinion on what they want to run. That is it for the Fluffal monsters. A lot of Fluffal monsters, but you need a lot of monsters for a lot of fusions in the deck. But now we'll move on to the other part of the fusion, the Edgeimps. I run 3 Edgeimp Chain, probably the best Edgeimp in the entire deck, just because he's complete search with both of his effects. When this card attacks, you can add an Edgeimp Chain from your deck to your hand, so you get to add another copy for fusion materials. And when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Fright for a card from your deck to your hand, so Fright for a fusion, which is the miracle fusion of the deck. You can only use 1 effect per turn, so you want to make sure you make the most of this card, either by, attacking the 1 turn, then having it be sent the next turn to use, to search for the Frightful Fusion. Make full use of this card. Never go without using any of its effects. And I also run 2 Edgeimp Sabers. Sabers is required for a lot of the fusions in this deck, so he's definitely needed. Very easy to get back from the graveyard with his special summon ability. And, like I said, he could be searched out with a lot of other different cards, including dog in this deck. So you'll easily get him out into the field. And I do not have any, which I see a lot of people running King of the Swamps now. So if you don't have any King of the Swamps, I recommend running 1 Edgem Saw and 2 Tomahawk. Tomahawk pretty much has the same characteristics of Swamp, being able to take on the names of Edgem so that you can send to the graveyard. And Saw is just for those Leo plays. So basically, if you have the King of Swamps, I'd run them here in this place. But if you don't, I recommend 2 Tomahawk and 1 Saw, just for those extra fusion combo plays. That is it for the monsters. We'll move on to spells. I run 3 Toy Vendor. This card is majorly required now in the deck just for draw power consistency. With its own special summon effect, it's very easy to set up combos, especially with Edgem Saber. And with Wing now and its draw power search ability, you got to run this card at 3. And I also run 1 Polymerization, only running 1 at the moment because I also run 3 Dark Fusion, which is pretty much like the Forbidden Lance of not being able to target Fright Furs you make with spell, trap, or monster effects. I see some people go 2 Polys, 2 Dark Fusion, but once again, it's just another preference. I like this card basically because you don't banish anything. It's another send fusion. Can't be searched out, but you know, your monsters are pretty immune to a lot of things using this card. Polymerization can be searched out with a lot of cards in this deck, which is why I also still like to run it regardless. And I also run 3 Fright Fur Fusion. This card is the Miracle Fusion of the deck by banishing Fluffal and Edgem monsters from your side of the field or graveyard for the fusion summon, so you cannot not run this card. And I also run 1 Book of Moon. Some people, you know, if you also want to take this out for another polymerization, if you want to max out your fusion potential, you can do that as well. And I also run 1 Regeki and 2 Dark Hole, just because big monsters are the big weakness of this deck. If Tiger can't get over it, these cards can. And I also run 3 Fusion Reserve, just another card that can recycle polymerization from your graveyard and get back and add some search material you need. All you have to do is reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck and then add something that's in its material. So a lot of the Edgem monsters, Fluffal Bear, whatever the situation calls for. And then for the extra deck, I only have 2 Fright for Tiger at the moment. Would max it out to 3, but I'm just going to wait till the promo comes out. Probably the best Fright Fur in the deck, just because it's amazing pop ability for every fusion material you use. And then for all Fright Fur monsters you control, gain 300 attack for each Fluffal and Fright Fur monster you control. So it's a great card just for reaching high numbers as well. And I also run 2 Sabertooth. Sabertooth is great just for the fusion summon. He's immune to battle and card effects if you use 3 or more monsters for its requirements. And all Fright Furs you control gain 300 attack. So along with Tiger, you're going to be reaching some pretty big numbers. And I also run 2 Wolf. Wolf is great for the OTK. He can attack up to the number of monsters you used for his summon, so you can hit 8k if you use the mouse combo. 2 Fright for Sheep. Sheep helps with just staying consistent, because if he dies by battle or card effect once per turn, you can special summon it back. You need Chain for this one, which is very easy. 1, 2 Leo. This would also go great. Basically, if you had the King of the Swamps, he's a Ring of Destruction card, so you can't go wrong there. Run 2, just because it's not impossible to make it if you have Polymerization or Dark Fusion to get the 1. Then if Saw's in your graveyard, you can get it off again by using the Fright for Fusion. And I also run 1 Bear. I run Bear basically for the Surge effect with Fusion Reserve, so I can get Fluffal Bear to my hand. And 1 Tech Chimera. Really ever hardly go into this card, so you might want to replace it with maybe an Exceed monster that I don't run, but, you know, cool tech to have. And then for the Exceeds, I run 1 Cowboy, 1 Arc, and 1 Castell, just because level 4s are the easiest monsters to use for Exceed summons. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.